All right, guys, Wes at Dirt Concepts coming at you today with a very special video. So today what we're going to be doing is taking a look under the hood of my two brand new A-scale buggies. I built two Mugen MBX8R buggies, both a Nitro buggy and an electric buggy. So without further ado, let's take a look. All right, up first we have my Mugen MBX8R Nitro buggy. Just a word of note here, this is not the final body I'll be running. I do actually have two bodies. They are J Concepts S15 bodies at the painter now, and I can't wait to get them back. I'll definitely make a post or maybe a short video showing off these bodies. They're being done by Dillicious Designs. This guy is incredibly talented at his paintwork. So he actually did this body for me as well. So can't wait to show that off. Without further ado, let's take a look under the hood though. All right. So first thing you see here is that ProTek Samurai Ryan Maifield 0.21 Nitro engine connected to a ProTek 2090 pipe and 75 millimeter header. Flipping over to the other side, what I have is a ProTek on-off switch, as well as a ProTek LiPo receiver pack. In addition to that, ProTek 170 SBL servos. These servos are the best in the game, in my opinion. They are incredibly fast and strong and very durable. I also like how they have the audible beep whenever you turn on the buggy, so that way you know that it's on. You don't actually leave your receiver on. I know we've all done that from time to time. In addition to that, some of the other option parts that I run, I do run a front scoop. I usually run the J Concept scoop. This is actually the Pro line, I believe. I'm running the Mugen Seiki adjustable aluminum servo steering arm. I'm running the aluminum servo horn for the throttle and brake servo as well. I run the optional aluminum servo saver arm. Some of the other optional parts that I'm running is the Mugen Seiki one-piece motor mount, and what this does is prevents additional flex using the engine crankcase as a flex member of the chassis, so it can give your engine bearings more longevity over the life of the engine. So definitely a recommended upgrade for anybody running this Nitro buggy. I'm running the optional lightweight arms, both front and rear. In addition to that, I'm running the dog bones in the front and rear, which kind of frees up the suspension and provides more consistency of grip level throughout the life of the dog bone, compared to a CVA, which are going to have a little bit more grip once they're broken in, which is, you know, actually kind of a narrow window in my opinion. So it really just depends what you're shooting for. I like to shoot for more of a lower maintenance setup. So in my shocks, I am running in both cars, and we'll get to the e-buggy next, but I'm running the MIP pistons. I do run the 6-hole piston with the Adam Drake drilled holes, which I believe are, and don't hold me to this, they're 1.35 times 3 in the front and 1.45 times 3 in the also in the front for 3 holes. And then in the rear, I'm running 1.45 millimeter times 3 holes, and then 1.50 millimeter times 3 holes in my rear pistons. And I believe the valving for the MIP pistons is I have the clear flap in the front and the blue flap in the rear. Other optional parts that I'm running is the 20-gram rear brass chassis weight. And what that does is it just balances out the car so it's not as nose heavy when it's full of fuel. As far as the clutch, I am actually running the kick clutch with different springs. So it's a 4-shoe Mugen clutch. It's actually their Mugen Seiki's new design that came out with the MBX8R Nitro Buggy. I'm running 2 composite and 2 aluminum shoes. What I did change out though is on my aluminum shoes, I'm still running the kit 1.0 springs, but I stepped down to 0.95 springs for the composite shoes. This is just what's been recommended to me by local drivers and other Mugen team drivers. I am highly interested in trying out the ProTek clutch. I've heard a lot of good things from it locally. I'm sure it's a fantastic product. In fact, I think last year Ryan Maifield won DNC with the ProTek clutch. So, you know, obviously it's a good clutch. So, looking forward to trying that out. Probably be after this clutch wears out, I'll go ahead and throw one of those in. One of the things I did miss here is I do run the ProTek servo washers, which are optional. You can order those when you order your ProTek servos. I am running, and I modified this to run the TOR style air filter. And what that allows you to do is basically just clip in the air filter here. And I had to modify this a little bit. I used the longer screw with a countersunk washer, and then I had to bend the rod to get this air filter mount to fit just like I wanted it to. One other thing I missed here on the engine, from what I've heard, the carburetor on this engine is actually tuned for gas mileage, which is fine if you want good fuel mileage. But for club racing, for me, you know, we do typically 15-minute mains, you know, and I think that's pretty standard for most club racing situations. So, you know, fuel mileage isn't really like a huge concern. So I actually stepped up to the 7.0 millimeter Venturi in this carb, and it gives me a little bit of a wider tuning window, and it just I think it'll make you know, just racing the buggy a little less stress-free, less tinkering with the car. I know this motor is very strong though, from what I've heard, you know, guys locally as well as team drivers, so I'm extremely excited to try out this motor and break it in, which is going to be hopefully, you know, pretty soon here. I do run the Mugen wing. I am interested in trying out the wing that was really popular at the Worlds. It's likely that I will go ahead and try that this summer for a few of our big trophy races coming up. So outside of that, setup wise, you know, I run AK tires typically. In this case, I'm running the super soft long wear impacts in the rear, super soft long wear grids in the front, Gridirons. Or sometimes if the track's really clean, I may run all grids, front and rear. Or if the track's really loose and loamy, I might run impacts, both front and rear. So, you know, it really depends. I know that the super soft long wear compound, it works fantastic when our local track, St. Louis Dirt Burners, is actually when we water. So for club racing, you know, you can't, it's really the best compound out there. And I've tried them all. One of the other things that I may try in the future, I may try the Flashpoint fuel line. I do run that on my gas truck. It's a little thicker though, but the good thing is it's less prone to tears. So I already had the Mugen line. It came in the kit, so I went ahead and installed that. Once I go to replace this line though, I'll go ahead and put the Flashpoint fuel line on. So as far as setup goes, I am running, it's kind of my own setup, but it's really loosely based on the Ryan Maifield DNC setup from 2021, which is actually with the MBX8, and then I developed that further to be applicable for the MBX8R. Really like the way it feels on our local track though, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that particular setup. So in the diffs, I am running the lightweight Flashpoint cross pins. So, and then I think that about wraps it up for the MBX8R Nitro Buggy. So really looking forward to getting this thing on the track. Hopefully we get some nice weather where our local track dries out, and I can go ahead and break in this engine and rip some laps. onto the e-buggy. All right, here is my Mugen Seiki MBX8R Eco electric A-scale full drive buggy. I do have the new body coming, as I said before, for the Nitro buggy, as well as I have one for the e-buggy going. This is actually one of my older bodies that I'm just repurposing right now. All right, take a look. Let's get these batteries plugged in here. All right, so the setup on this buggy is actually almost identical to the Nitro buggy. So as I said before, it's loosely based on a Ryan Maifield 2021 DNC setup that I had further developed to be better for my local track, which is St. Louis Dirt Burners. Some of the parts that I'm running, so first and foremost, running a ProTek RC 6400 Shorty LiPo 4S battery pack. In addition to that, I'm running the ProTek RC 170 SBL Servo, best in the game. Paired with the Hobbywing XR8 Pro ESC, and then the Hobbywing G3 68mm can 1900 kV motor. I run Futaba receivers on all of my cars. So walking through some of the optional parts that I'm running on my MBX8R Eco buggy. I am running the ProTek RC carbon fiber side guards. In addition to that, the ProTek RC upper arm front winglets, which I believe help with steering during if it's like a high-speed sweeper. Just keeps that front end locked down to the ground, and you can really crank on the wheel hard with full throttle, and you can make up time depending on the layout. I do run a front scoop on this buggy as well. A little bit different, a little bit of a departure from the Nitro buggy. I'm actually running Lunsford turnbuckles. I would have got these actually for the Nitro buggy, but unfortunately Lunsford is no longer in business, which is a big bummer. I was a huge fan of Lunsford, so it is what it is though. So I'll keep repurposing these as long as I can. That's the nice thing about Lunsford parts, they last forever. I am running the Flashpoint lightweight aluminum Diff cross pins. I'm running a Flashpoint aluminum steering servo arm. I'm running the Avid RC titanium domed droop screws. These are just kind of hard to get right now. I am planning on eventually getting a set also for the Nitro buggy. I think they allow you to have a really consistent droop setting though, for, you know, when the track's either, it could be a muddy track, you know, and you get dirt packed in there. It helps keep the droop setting very consistent. I am running the Mugen Seiki aluminum servo saver arm. On both the Nitro buggy and on the e-buggy, I do run the lightweight arms, front and rear. As well as I'm running the dog bones in the front and the rear. So with the dog bones, the thing is the CVAs are going to give you a little bit more traction once they're broken in. The dog bones, you know, they're going to provide a little more traction right off the get-go though. So the nice part is they're very consistent, you know, throughout the life of the dog bone, and that's going to be a pretty long life. So it's lower maintenance. What's nice is we're running a 2-buggy A-scale buggy program, lower the maintenance. Hey, I'd call that a win in my book. I'm running the optional 20-gram rear weight, which helps get that weight bias as close as possible to the Nitro buggy. That way I can learn from both cars on the track and make setup changes that I know will work for both cars. I'm running the ProTek RC aluminum servo washers. Highly recommend these. If you're looking for a way to lock down your servo and ensure that your alignment is perfect 100% of the time. As well as I'm running a ProTek RC 30mm fan for my motor. I leave this disconnected usually unless it's a hotter day, then I'll go ahead and connect it. The buggy does fine though without it normally. Unless, like I said, it's a hot day, then it's going to be a must-have requirement. So, and that about wraps up the e-buggy. I do run the MIP pistons, same shock package that I'm running in the Nitro buggy. But other than that, I think that about wraps it up. I know this is going to be a solid setup for a buggy though. I actually had an MBX8R or MBX8 that I converted to an R that I ran last season and ran this exact same setup. So it was a great buggy, had amazing performance. So it was just time for a refresher though. So definitely looking forward to getting out on the track though. Go ahead and breaking in this buggy and putting it through its paces. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.